Hello, and welcome to this series of Kimberbell tutorials for the Cup of Cheer Advent Quilt. This 42 by 58 inch heirloom quilt is one that will be treasured for years to come. Now, unlike a traditional sew-along, I thought I would instead share with you a series of how-to tutorials featuring various machine embroidery techniques. The samples used with these techniques come from the Cup of Cheer quilt book, which is found at your favorite quilt shop. Now, here's the good news. By doing it this way, I can share with you a very specific technique that is often used in Kimberbell projects. I hope that you'll find that by looking up that technique, you'll not only be able to complete the project block from Cup of Cheer, but that these tutorials will guide you through any Kimberbell project you do in the future. For example, do you want to learn how to do background quilting on your embroidery machine? Well, I'm going to show you how that's done by showing you how to do the mitten 1 block in Cup of Cheer. Look for the tutorial titled How to Do Background Quilting on Your Embroidery Machine. Other technique-based videos include such things as how to make lace on your home embroidery machine. I'll show you how to do that with the use of the dainty lace ornaments that you hang on the tree from days 7, 8, and 9 of the quilt. Or how about the tutorial titled How to Do Fringe on Your Embroidery Machine? The perfect block to showcase this, of course, is the darling snowman with the fringe hat and the fringe scarf. There's going to be close to a dozen technique-based tutorials ready for you to view whenever the time is right for you. And like I said, once you learn the technique for these blocks, you're going to be able to apply the same techniques for just about any Kimberbell project. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick look at how your Cup of Cheer book is laid out. When you open the book, you're going to find all of the embroidery designs on the accompanying CD. 9 of the most common machine formats are there, including Art, DST, EXP, HUS, JEF, PES, VIP, VP3, and finally XXX. Background quilting is always optional, so if you choose to go that route of completing it all on your embroidery machine, you can find those background quilting files as a separate download purchase at kimberbell.com. Now, the next few pages include ways to keep your project organized. Prepping your fabrics beforehand can be a huge time saver in the long run, so we show you how to do it with the use of a resealable bag. We even include fabric cutting diagrams to help as well. At Kimberbell, we thrive on what we call darling dimensional details, and these kinds of things are found on page 9 under the title of Embellishments. These are those little extra things that really make your Kimberbell quilt just shine. To make it even easier, you can purchase an embellishment kit that has all the felts, the buttons, the bells, the zippers, even a music box, all in one convenient bag. Since using the right kind of stabilizer is essential to the success of any embroidery project, we list all of our recommendations on page 11. There you're going to find Kimberbell's color-coded system for identifying which stabilizer to have on hand, and then in the subsequent pages of the instructions, we're going to assist you on which ones to use. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a sample quilt block set of instructions found on page 12. You'll see the design at the top, how many of them you are to make, and the fabric cuts and stabilizer that is needed. One thing that we will always recommend in our patterns is using Kimberbell's fusible backing on the back of any block that you're about to embroider onto. By ironing fusible backing to the wrong side of the background block and then adding in the additional recommended stabilizer, your blocks are going to have greatly reduced puckering and beautiful finished blocks are going to be at the end. As you prepare to stitch out each block, ask yourself first these 2 questions. First, do I want to do my background quilting on the embroidery machine before I put the design on top, or do I want to quilt this after I'm finished? And maybe you would do this with a long arm quilt machine or even your home sewing machine. Here are those 2 choices laid out for you in the book. If you want to use Kimberbell's method of doing background quilting, you're going to start here. If you are not using this method, then skip this section and go straight to the section titled Hooping Instructions. As mentioned earlier, since background quilting is optional, Kimberbell offers a wide variety of background quilting designs that can be found as downloads from kimberbell.com. You can even find bundle sets that we've specifically matched to the fabrics and appliques used in the quilt. It's just all so fun. Of course, don't just think of these background quilting designs for only this project alone, because you're going to get dozens of sizes in your download, and you can use these projects for anything, whether it's a Kimberbell project or not. As you can see here, if you are doing our block by block quilting method, you can find a tutorial in the resource section, found in this case on page 87. But you don't need to rely on that alone. I will also walk you through how fun and easy it is to do background quilting on your embroidery machine with my series of free video tutorials as well. After each block is finished, it's time to square them up. You'll find that size under the trimming instructions found at the end of each specific block. You're going to notice that we use Kimberbell's orange pop rulers to square up our blocks. While using these rulers are simply optional, we love the ease of use and the accurate cuts that make it even more easy to piece the entire quilt together at the end. You can also find both the square and the rectangle sets of orange pop rulers at your favorite quilt shop. I also want you to notice a few blocks where the step-by-step instructions are in the book, but we have also included a logo that looks like this. It's blue and it says Digital Instructions Included. You'll find this on such blocks as the zippered present block and the house blocks. So why look at both? Well, first of all, they are the same set of instructions, but we also know how nice it can be to actually be able to zoom in and enlarge the details of each step so that you truly can see very clearly exactly what we want you to do. Our product development team at Kimberbell wants you to feel like we're sitting right next to you, showing you what to do next and how to make these blocks step by step. When doing these particular blocks with a few more tiny details, we would want to especially be sure that you are successful. So use those digital directions to your advantage. Now, at first glance, this quilt may seem a little bit overwhelming. After all, there is a lot included, right? But what I want you to think about is this, that this is going to be a project worth taking your time on. Take it literally, block by block, step by step. Maybe you just focus on one block a day or even a couple in a week, and before you know it, they're gonna all be done. You can stand back and admire your work in no time at all. And actually, truth be told, these blocks are addicting. Once you start, you're gonna wonder why you were ever so nervous. They really are so much fun. And at Kimberbell, we know how important it is to take you through every single step, as outlined in the full color instruction book. Many shops are also providing video tutorials and in-house classes as well. Just have fun with it. As you're getting closer to completing the quilt top, you'll find what background quilting we used on our borders, and you'll find this on page 62. Once your entire top is sewn, you may be wondering, well, now how do I bring all the layers of my quilt sandwich together? Well, you have two options depending on whether or not you did the background quilting beforehand. First, if you did not do the background quilting as you went along, then make your quilt sandwich with your backing, your batting, and then your top. You can then take this to a long arm quilter to have it custom quilted, or even try your hand at quilting through all three layers on your home sewing machine. But if you did use Kimberbell's background quilting files and you stitched these out as you went along, you're nearly done. To hang nicely, we suggest adding a second layer of Kimberbell project batting behind the quilt top, and then your backing. To keep all three layers together, you could do something like a basting spray or a basting powder, or maybe even safety pins. Put it all together and then do what we call a stitch in the ditch on your sewing machine. My suggestion would be to start in the middle of your quilt and work your way out along each seam line. Before you know it, you're going to have a beautiful Advent quilt ready for hanging and ready to be enjoyed. So, are you ready to get started? Let's do this! We've got this! Simply take a look at our technique-based video library, and each one is going to show you the specific block highlighted as our example in the video. Choose whichever one fits your needs at the time, and let's just go for it. Have a whole lot of fun.